The floods in Ireland, causes, impacts, and lessons learned. Ireland, renowned for its emerald landscapes and rich cultural heritage, increasingly faces relentless floods. According to the Irish Meteorological Service, Met Éireann, the frequency of extreme rainfall events has risen by approximately 20% over 5 decades. Today, we explore the complexities of flooding in Ireland by examining its causes, impacts on communities and ecosystems, and strategies to mitigate future catastrophes. Historical context of flooding in Ireland. Flooding is not new to Ireland, with significant events documented since the 17th century. Notable were the catastrophic floods of 1763 that submerged parts of Dublin. Traditionally, the temperate maritime climate dictated seasonal flooding, particularly in riverine and coastal regions. However, over the past century, there has been a discernible shift. The Office of Public Works, OPW, data indicates a 60 mm increase in average annual rainfall since the 1950s, with western regions showing up to a 100 mm increase. This has led to more frequent and severe flood events. Causes of recent floods. Climate change factors. Climate models project a 10 to 20% increase in winter precipitation by 2050 for Ireland. The rise in global temperatures enhances the hydrological cycle, leading to intensified rainfall. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, notes that each 1 degree Celsius temperature rise allows the atmosphere to hold 7% more moisture, causing heavier downpours. The North Atlantic jet stream's changes have led to more frequent, potent storms, exemplified by storms Desmond, 2015, and Ophelia, 2017. Studies suggest these extreme events are 40% more likely due to climate change. Geographical factors. Ireland's topography, featuring low-lying central plains and coastal mountains, is prone to fluvial flooding. The River Shannon, over 360 kilometers long, has a catchment area prone to overflow. Its flat terrain slows water discharge, exacerbating floods during heavy rain. Sea level rise of 3.5 mm per year, along with storm surges, intensifies coastal flooding. A 0.5 meter sea level rise could inundate places like Cork and Galway by century's end. Human activities. Urban development has expanded impermeable surfaces, reducing natural drainage and increasing runoff. Dublin has seen a 20% rise in built-up areas since 1990. Ireland's low forest cover, about 11%, decreases rain absorption capacity. Deforestation and wetland conversion for agriculture diminish the land's ability to manage rainfall. Case studies. In February 2020, the Shannon River had its highest recorded levels, with rainfall exceeding monthly averages by 200%. Over 1,000 hectares of farmland were submerged, and hundreds of homes evacuated. Impact on communities. Economic impact. The 2015-2016 winter floods caused €100 million in damages. Infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and treatment facilities suffered greatly. Many homeowners face challenges with insurance, as premiums rise or coverage is withdrawn. Flood-related insurance claims have increased by 30% in the last decade. Social consequences. Thousands have been displaced, like the 1,800 people during the 2009 Cork floods. Temporary housing strains resources. The Health Service Executive, HSE, reports increased anxiety, depression, and PTSD among flood victims. Environmental damage. Floods alter habitats and affect flora and fauna. Pollution and sedimentation impact water quality, threatening species like the freshwater pearl mussel. Agriculture sees immense losses, with crop losses exceeding €50 million post-2018 floods. Personal stories. Interviews with residents, such as John O'Sullivan from County Kerry, reveal the devastation of losing homes and farmlands. Community resilience is evident, as local initiatives demonstrate Irish solidarity through collective efforts. Government and local responses. Emergency services. The Coast Guard, Civil Defense, and local fire services mobilize to conduct rescues and provide aid. The National Emergency Coordination Group enhances collaboration among agencies. Policy measures. Ireland's flood risk management plans, led by the OPW, align with the EU Floods Directive, focusing on prevention, protection, and preparedness. The National Development Plan 2018 to 2027 allocates over €1 billion for flood relief schemes, proving effective in places like Clonmel. Community initiatives. Volunteer groups like the Irish Red Cross mobilize for relief efforts, while community flood forums empower local decision-making. Awareness campaigns like Be Winter Ready enhance public understanding and preparedness. Flood prevention and mitigation strategies. Structural measures. Embankments, seawalls, and barriers protect vulnerable areas. Projects like the proposed tidal barrier for Cork Harbour are inspired by models like the Thames Barrier. Upgrading urban drainage systems with sustainable drainage systems, SUDS, reduces runoff. Non-structural measures. Zoning laws prevent development in floodplains. Relocation and green corridors allow rivers to overflow safely. Environmental approaches. Wetland restoration and afforestation offer natural flood management solutions, as seen in the Neeg-Ban wetland restoration. Technology and innovation. Advanced hydrological modeling and real-time monitoring improve flood predictions. The National Flood Forecasting and Warning Service utilizes technology for timely alerts. Innovations like floating homes and amphibious architecture offer adaptive solutions and enhance building resilience. Role of climate change and global responsibility. International agreements. Ireland is committed to a 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Collaborative efforts seek to limit global warming below 2 degrees Celsius. The Climate Action Plan 2023 outlines strategies for 51% emission reduction by 2030, aiming for net zero by 2050. Renewable energy initiatives. Ireland harnesses wind resources, boasting over 5,000 megawatts capacity by 2022. Solar projects contribute to a diversified energy portfolio. Programs like the SEII's Community Energy Grant support local renewable projects. Community adaptation and resilience. Education and preparedness. Public information programs educate citizens on flood risks and preparedness, accessible through platforms like floodinfo.ie. School initiatives involve climate education in curricula, such as the Green Schools program. Building resilient infrastructure. Adapting building codes for flood resistance reduces vulnerabilities. Retrofitting measures like flood barriers and sump pumps enhance existing structures. Case studies of success. Clonmel's €40 million flood defense scheme, completed in 2012, demonstrates effective adaptation. Future outlook. Predicted trends. Climate Models project increased winter rainfall by up to 30% by 2080 under high-emission scenarios. Risks without intervention. Economic losses could triple by 2050. Coastal cities face threats from sea level rise and storm surges. Hopeful signs. Technological advances in modeling, satellite monitoring, and AI improve flood responses. Youth activism. Movements like Fridays for Future, led by young activists, emphasize climate change urgency. Call to global action. Collective responsibility. The transboundary nature of climate change requires global cooperation. Ireland must align its efforts with international strategies against evolving climate challenges. The escalating frequency and intensity of floods underscore the need for comprehensive strategies encompassing mitigation, adaptation, and resilience building. The future demands an integrated approach, melding technological innovation, robust policy frameworks, and active community engagement. Join us in this vital endeavor. Your expertise, whether through research, policy advocacy, or initiatives, is invaluable. Stay informed, share your knowledge, and together, let us fortify Ireland against the tides of change.